What's up guys, in this video I'm going to go over the hidden costs that you need to know about before you buy your first investment real estate property. Alright guys, now there's quite a few hidden costs, so listen very closely to these. I'm going to go off one by one, right down the line, and pretty much give you everything you need to know what to expect when you get a property under contract and you're getting ready to purchase. So the first thing you'll probably encounter is actually inspection expenses. So there's a few different inspections you're probably going to want to do. Those include a general inspection is what it's called. There's also radon if you have radon in your area. Termites, and then maybe you might want to do a sewer scope if you have a sewage. Those are all going to help you, just verify that the property is what it's in the condition it says it is, and make sure and to avoid any unwanted repair expenses or if something super critical is broken. The next expense that you're going to probably encounter maybe at the end of your contract cycle is going to be closing costs. So those include things like title fees, any loan costs you encounter. Those also are going to be escrows for, say, your insurance and your taxes. You actually have to prepay a lot of that. Some of it 2 months or a year's worth upfront in advance when you close. Now, usually you can try to ask the seller to cover your closing costs. Now, that's been a pretty common practice until very recently, where the market is so competitive that a seller or buyers will pretty much offer anything, and the seller has to do almost nothing to sell their house. But, I just got closing costs paid for on my last house just by asking. So you might be able to too. Now, number 3 is actually going to be mortgage insurance, or it's commonly called MI or PMI, which is private mortgage insurance or just mortgage insurance. And you're going to have to deal with this if you get any kind of loan with that you're putting less than 20% down. So say you're doing a conventional loan, say 10, 5%, something like that, you're going to have to pay mortgage insurance until you get to 20% equity, and automatically turns off at 22% equity. Now, if you get a loan like an FHA loan, it has insurance built in as well to the loan for the life of the loan. So to get rid of that mortgage insurance, you're actually going to have to refinance that loan and get some other type of loan to get that off, regardless of what equity you have in the property. So make sure to factor that in if you're going to use that type of financing. Number 4, guys, is loan costs. So sometimes you're going to have to pay for some things related to your loan. Now, generally, there's a few different things you need to look out for, and those are the main things being lender credits or buy downs. So if you're going to do a buy down, that's some lenders will offer you multiple rates that you can actually have, and you can actually, there's what's called the par rate, and or the rate that's closest to par, and that's basically the interest rate at the time that where you get no money and you have to pay no money. But one thing that I did, for example, on my first property is I actually bought the rate down and put money up front, paid the lender money up front in order to get a lower interest rate over the life of the loan. So that way, after a certain period of years, I'm actually going to be saving money every month on that loan amount because I got that lower interest rate. So if you want to do any buy downs, those are going to cost you, and those are going to be factored into your closing costs. You also may have to pay, a lot of lenders have a bunch of fees or perhaps processing fees, stuff like that, that's like not included in their compensation. So, make sure when you're shopping around to get a full closing cost worksheet from all the lenders you're using to get a very accurate picture of what their fees are going to be. All right, number 5, and this is going to be a huge one, is actually repairs or renovations. So, when you're analyzing a deal or when you're doing your inspections, you need to make sure you're factoring in all of the repairs or renovations you're going to have to do to get the house in move-in ready condition. Now, these are super important. You need to make very carefully sure that you're estimating these correctly. Unless you're a really experienced, I would try to get an experienced contractor or even multiple experienced contractors to the property when you're looking at it for the first time or when you're doing your inspections to help you kind of bid these things and get a good estimate for you, so that way you can factor it in to your offer, and then if you have to negotiate later, to your negotiations. All right, guys, last but not least is actually real estate agent commissions. Now, normally the seller is going to pay for the commissions for both the buyers and sellers agents, but you may need to pay them. For example, say if you want to buy a property that's off market and you still want to use an agent or something like that, you may need to pay those commissions for your agent, just so they can deal with all the paperwork and all the stuff of getting the loan done. Perhaps if you're doing a commercial deal, a broker of some kind, you may need to be involved in paying those commissions. There's all sorts of funky things you can do, to save yourself time, effort, energy, but they may just cost you. So keep that in mind. Okay, real quick, one last thing. If you're looking to get an awesome rental management software, go ahead and hit the link in the description below to check out RentRedi rental property management software. And remember, use code DAN20 to get 20% off your subscription. And with that, guys, I'm Dan Kohan with RentRedi, and I'll see you in the next video.